This is NFA Talk, the show that talks about guns and gun rights, keeping you up to date with what's currently going on, from the newest guns, promotions, and events, plus how we're lobbying for your rights.
Scopes up.
Spotters up.
Stand by.
Send it. Contact.
Hey everybody, welcome to NFA Talk. I'm your host, Nathaniel Milger. With me today is President Rick Igercich, also Director of Ontario, and our Director of Quebec, Chuck Cote. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great. Nathaniel, how you doing?
Not bad, thanks.
Hey, Nate, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you guys too. So where do you want to start? How do you want to begin?
Well, I think we should probably start. What's on everybody's mind is the end of the amnesty is coming up quick, and I guess everybody wants to know what's going on and what our position is. So right now, we put this out on social media a couple days ago. We have an injunction in place, but we're not gonna file an injunction until we know exactly what's going on. We don't want to use members' resources unless we have to. So basically, we're kind of sitting and waiting for our legal Solomon Friedman and our legal team to just let us know what they want to do. Like I say, it's coming up to the end of the month, but as far as we know and what we've heard, the Liberals have nothing in place. There's no plan on how to conduct these seizures, and I'm going to call them seizures. They have no logistics in place, so that's where we're sitting with that. So. If anybody has questions, you can contact us, and we can clarify that. But right now, we're just holding fast till Solomon gives us a go either way, whether to file our injunction or to, just let nature take its course and let them extend the amnesty again.
Yeah, they got enough on our plate right now with what's happening in Parliament. So
yeah,
well,
it's it.
I think there's no question as to it doesn't matter who you talk to. Solomon Friedman is the premier firearms lawyer in Canada, and it's just important to listen to what he has to say. And we're lucky to have him as our legal counsel. It's really important to kind of verify that he knows more than we do. And when it comes to the court case as well, the federal court case, we are still waiting for that information as well to come through too. So he was very adamant about that as well at Tacom, talking about that. So. He said the longer that it takes for the judge.
Yeah, Solomon did a great job in Ottawa. Solomon took the lead on the whole thing. We funded the whole pre-mat case in Solomon. He took the lead for us on the whole thing, and he did an outstanding job in Ottawa. And basically everybody else followed suit, which was good because Solomon is probably the most renowned, probably in my opinion, the best lawyer as far as firearms go in Canada, if not North America.
We're gonna have news on that. Like, if I remember correctly, Nathaniel, we have a video coming up with all with Solomon's speech at Tacom.
We do, absolutely. In fact, we'll have that up pretty quickly here. I mean, right after we got back from Tacom, there are quite a few different things that came into play pretty quickly. So we're editing things as they come out here, but we did get it recorded. We're going to put it into real snippets and a fairly long version of it as well. We're going to kind of stay away from a lot of the questions and answers stuff that was brought up. But other than that, all the important details we will have up here ASAP.
Like during his speech, like he mentioned like a lot of information, like it was super interesting. So well, I'm looking forward to it to share it to our members.
Yeah, it'll be on all our platforms soon. We're just putting it together. It's quite long, so we're just shortening it up and getting the key features out there. And while we're on the subject, we might as well talk about Tacom. We were at Tacom a few weeks ago. What a great event for us. We got there early. We set up. We had, I think, one of the nicest displays there, and the response from the masses was phenomenal. Our team spoke to people for 3 days straight. We never got off our feet. We did a lot of memberships. We sold a lot of merchandise. We covered everything from the Order in Council to C21 to C71. People wanted to know, and people are curious, and we were there to answer their questions. Chuck?
I mean, I was impressed. I was impressed to see like the amount of people that were at Tacom. Like a lot of people, like a lot of people that were first time gun owner, like that want to get into shooting. But like, yeah, the interest like is still there, even like after all these these laws, the OIC C-21, like which has not passed yet. But like, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
want to shoot.
Yeah, you know what? The thing is, too, we invited Solomon to come along, and he filled the house. There he was probably the speaker that drew the most. Hands down, he was a speaker that drew the largest crowd. But people want to know what's going on, and like I say, we'll be airing that shortly. The key parts of his speech. But yeah, it was a great time. We met a lot of new people, people from all over. People came to Tacom from all over the place. They were interested. People today want to know what's going on, and you know what? That's why the NFA is here to, give them as much advice and knowledge as we have, and we're always welcome to share it, whether they're members or not. Everybody in the firearms world is part of us, and we'll talk to them all, and like I say, we'll give them whatever they want to know. If we can help them, we'll help them.
And big shout out to our field officer that were there. Like I was super impressed. I met like some of them there, and wow, like what amazing job like they did.
Yeah, it was good. Again for me too. A big shout out to our field officer, also to our directors and regional coordinators. Blair, our vice president, flew out from BC. Tom Maven, my colleague from Ontario, was there. Donald Feltham from Newfoundland was there. Hardy Staub was there. Who am I missing? Ginger and Bev from the office. Ginger, our general manager, and Bev from the office were there. It was good. Our team just kind of melds together. It just, we work great together, and we key off each other. It was a great event.
Right on.
Absolutely. So we have some comments coming in here as well. Brandon here, he says, we may have good news in the case, but it's taking long. That's true. And Solomon actually acknowledged that and said that because the judge is taking as long as she is, we're well over what it was supposed to take. So he said that it's because she's actually taking it quite seriously. She is looking at the details and everything. So you're absolutely right about that. Brock here says, Nathaniel, nice rack. Careful you don't get swatted. Yeah, I guess for the viewers that we have, it's funny. The antis actually religiously watch us more than our actual fans do. So just so that they don't have to pause and take note, that's a couple of 1910 Rosses and then a SMLE and a number 4 Mark 1 Lee Enfield. They're all 100 years old, and coincidentally, the G amendments would have said they all would have been banned. So you want to talk about banning assault rifles? Well, those are my antiques that they were trying to ban right there. So there you go, guys.
Well, these are weapons of war, Nathaniel.
All built, and you know what? They're all built Canadian. They're all parts of our history. So there you go. That's the way.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually the NFA did an event in Newfoundland a couple of weeks ago. I was out there with Ginger, and I got to fire. Donald has quite an extensive collection of Enfields and Rosses and stuff. I fired Enfields before, but I never fired a Ross, so I had some experiences, and we'll be posting some pictures later on our event. With the people of Newfoundland welcomed us with loving arms. I couldn't believe the people out there, and I found the biggest thing out on the East Coast is a lot of people didn't even know that there's a gun lobby fighting for their rights. So we traveled around, we went to gun clubs, we spoke to people, we picked up a pile of members out there, and we had a great time. Donald took us to the range, and like I say, we shot some pictures of us, of me shooting an Enfield and a Mosey, and then the Ross. The Ross was interesting. We had a few malfunctions with the Ross, but we left them in. It was a lot of fun, and like I say, I want to make a big shout out to Donald and the people of Newfoundland. You guys were just it was heartwarming. The attention we got out there. They just they couldn't believe that we came out there to visit them. But we'll be going out there again. We'll be doing more events out there. We did a gun and trade show out there, and I think it laid some groundwork for one in the future, and I hope maybe we can get more of our team out there if it looks good.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So I guess what else are we going to talk about, Chuck? Oh, you know what? I know what we can talk about. This is a little old, but it's kind of for our intro there. Rob Furlong was kind enough to invite Chuck and I out for invite us out for a course. He gave us a couple of guns. He gave us a course, and we did precision rifle level 1, and we had a great time. I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna let Chuck's head get too big here. But Chuck did 5 rounds at a mile with a 308. I know it's hard to believe, but I think it was all because he had a really good spotter. Moi. It was a great time. Yeah, and yeah, that's right. And it just and he did it with I don't know if I mentioned, but he did it with a 308, which is, the thing was arcing like 22, 24 feet in the middle, and he made 5 consecutive hits at a mile. I did 5 at 1,000, which I thought was pretty amazing with the 308. But and a big shout out to Rob and also to Kadex. Kadex actually supplied the guns to us. Patrice at Kadex supplied us a couple of Krakens, Kadex Krakens. Awesome rifle. The things shot themselves. Basically a one-hole gun at 100 yards, and a big shout out to Rob and his crew. Those guys, we had a really good time out there. We learned a lot. We went out there with a lot of bad habits and came home a lot better shooters. I don't know if you want to comment more on that, Chuck.
I mean, like the whole 3 days, the whole trip, was amazing. Like you said, when Robbie, because the cool thing with Furlong's Academy, you get one instructor per 4 guys, so 2 teams, so you get really hands-on training, and Rob Furlong does all the lectures. So when Robbie told me, oh yeah, you're gonna stretch that to 1,000 yards, I was 308 to 1,000 yards, say no, there's no way. No, it's impossible. And we went there. We went from 200 to 8, put it to 1,000, and to 1,000 it worked great. And he looked at me and said, "You see that lake over there?" I said, "Yeah, not really. I can't see it." The play to 1250 is there, so you shoot it. So I don't remember exactly, but I think we hit it on the 3rd or 4th shot. For Rob, the most important thing is to get your hit 1st or 2nd shot. So third and 4th, it's still good, but usually when you engage a target, it's 1st or 2nd shot.
Yeah, and, actually, you engaged. I was actually spotting for you. Engaged in the 2nd shot. You caught the corner, and we made a minor adjustment. Yeah. Walked up after the first, saw the splash, and actually saw the vapor trail through the mirage, which was heavy that day. And I failed to mention there was a 9-mile-an-hour crosswind that day too, and we were dealing with. But those guys are so good. This new sport, long range precision rifle, is really catching on, and that's why we're talking about it. It's another sport that's really hitting the firearms world with storm, and the NFA always endorses Canadian business and industry, and Rob Furlong's Marksmanship Academy is a great Canadian industry that's growing, and we want to help them out. And everybody else, we've got a few other people we want to talk about on this episode too that are growing. And like I say, this long range precision marksmanship stuff. If you have a chance, go to Rob, shoot, you'll get hooked. We're hooked right now. Chuck and I are both looking for guns and scopes right now because we thought our equipment was good, but when you shoot some really good stuff, it's a big difference.
The first thing we should buy is land.
Yeah.
And if anybody's interested, there is a video of you guys hitting that at 5 at a mile there on YouTube. Please check it out. There's a Rob Furlong video there, and where he talks about being accurate and the right scope, the right rifle. And I actually just got back here from the 15th to the 17th. We had King of 2 Mile here, which is the sniper or extreme long range shooting competition in Canada as well, which is a really, really cool event. We got there a little late. We had a couple of events that we had to do first, but on the last day there, we caught the last few shooters. They take it extremely seriously. They have cameras set up so that they can score accurately. Everybody really takes it seriously. Here's the individuals outside. These are the other competitors with their spotting scopes up, making sure and keeping an eye on the other competitors. And here's the competitors shooting on their own, undisturbed, so that they can do the best that they can do. And at the end of the day, the scores are tallied. And a gentleman I have written here, Luke Grind, who I actually talked to for a good 15 minutes there. We have a video talking to him as well. And there's his spotter, Kyle Yu from Toronto. They won King of 2 Mile this year. There's a Kadex that they won there. And they were also sponsored by March Scopes and Loophole. So
there's something we need to mention about that Kadex. That Kadex is the exact firearm that we're giving away in our big gun giveaway. It's a Kadex Shadow in 375 enabler, and that's what won King of 2 Mile, and that's what the NFA is giving away. So we'll do a little
video.
Yeah, sure.
Emerging from the darkness.
Man, if I wasn't disqualified from winning that, I'd be out there buying all kinds of tickets on that. You know, and another thing too, and this is why we're doing this stuff right now. We're kind of going a little different direction than our other NFA talks, but we're all shooters. Our whole board of directors, including Nathan, Chuck, everybody is a shooter. We're all gun owners. We all shoot different disciplines, and sometimes we got to talk about what we do, and we're just one of you people. You know, we're definitely the gun lobby in Canada, but we're also we're doing this for ourselves as well as every firearm owner in Canada. We're dug in deep because we're not only trying to make sure that you don't lose your guns, we're trying to make sure we don't lose our own guns.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's said online quite a bit. You know, there's a lot of individuals that contact us and they say, well, what about IPSC? What about this? What about that? No, it's I can't think of one of our directors that doesn't have a special genre of the sport that they're involved in that they're not trying to save. Every single one of us has something. You know, obviously I'm the history guy, right? Chuck, you're down in Vermont doing the coolest stuff. Rick, you've got the pistols. It's everything. It's absolutely everything, and everything is on the line right now. Which I'm actually going to use that as a little bit of a segue here. MP Zimmer here, actually just a couple of hours ago, posted a video with Senator Plett. Sec D has now come into play again. I mean, we're back in Parliament, and they are really trying to push through C-21. There's a lot of individuals out there that are currently saying, well, you know what, it's a handgun ban, it's a handgun freeze, doesn't affect me, and that can't be further from the truth. The G amendments, they were talking about those have been withdrawn. Well, they haven't really been withdrawn, because instead of withdrawing it completely, instead they put in new amendments, and what these amendments do is they put through a firearms advisory committee that then looks at every firearm and decides as to whether or not it will be banned by OIC. So everything's on the table, and that's not just the G amendment guns anymore, it's everything. And we have it on good authority that at some point next month they're actually going to be putting the SKS on the table, and they're going to be deciding as to whether or not we're allowed to own that. So right now, Senator Plett and Bob Zimmer have put a list of the senators to contact on their website, on his website. It's bobzimmer.ca /list-of-senators. We have the link on our Facebook right now and on our social media. We get messages every time when we post one of these things, and dozens of them. Oh, there's no point, and now the letters go nowhere. No, there is a point. Right now, the Liberals are dying in the polls. They don't care about you. They care about their ideology 100%, but they also care about their paychecks. And if they come back and they have thousands of emails and hundreds of letters stuck under their door, they're not looking at it any other way other than maybe they'll lose their job, maybe they'll get voted out, maybe this isn't something that the public wants, and that's when they start to change their minds. That's how we have to affect this. And I know I'll be writing a ton of letters, I'll be sending a lot of emails, and we all should be, because this is the way we die, is with a whimper, and you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and that's what they're going to be doing with this legislation. So check out Bob Zimmer, check out Senator Plett, get on that list, send some emails. It's really, really important. And thank you, Senator Plett, and thank you, MP Zimmer, for your work, your hard work. I love the fact that the Conservatives are now starting to talk about sport shooters as well as hunters. I think that's a really important definition that they've started to cross over onto it. And right now we're seeing a lot of work from them, especially at SECU, where they are defending us. And this whole ban has fallen flat. So please check out bobzimmer.ca, check out Senator Plett, get on that list. We have it as well up. All the lobbies are on this right now, and every member of everything should be on there right now. And join a gun lobby. Join one, especially ours, really, in the grand scheme of things. They look at the list of the amount of people that are on that lobby, and they take it more seriously when those numbers have swollen. So just thought I'd use that as a segue to get to that. So thank you.
Yeah. And I implore everybody to please write letters to the senators, emails, letters. They will listen. Senator Plett says that it will make a difference. So please get out there. We're going to be pushing letters out and emails till this is resolved. And we have strength in numbers. We just need everybody to jump aboard so we can make some stuff happen in Parliament and in the Senate.
I'm always surprised, like they're pushing this, because right now, when's the next vote of confidence in the chamber? Because like this government right now, like, I mean, if they would go to election, they would lose right away. I mean, so
well, the problem we have, Chuck, is I think the NDP and Jagmeet Singh especially is holding on by the end of his fingers, because he needs to, in my opinion, he's looking to get his pension and stuff, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to cut. He doesn't want to divorce his marriage made in hell with Justin Trudeau. So
but are we gonna go for a 4-year minority government in Canada? Like this has never been seen before.
Yeah, well, you know what? Nathan and I have been following the polls pretty close right now, and I'm not a big believer in polls, but it's showing a super majority for the Conservatives right now. I hope they maintain that course and hold fast. And I think Canadians are realizing that there's nothing the Liberals do about them. I'm going to drift off gun politics here for a second, which I don't like to do, but you know what? It's coming down to their personal property and stuff. And, Canadians are realizing that everybody has something to lose if this government stays in power. So, that's our thing. Get out and vote. If they do call election, support your candidate of your choice. Get out and vote, and let's get a government change happening here.
Yep, well said.
Well, and you're right. The NDP actually hold all of the cards right now, and again, it's a pension scenario, but also it has to be taken into account too that you are watching the NDP go down in polls right now too, because of this unholy alliance that they have right now. So they have to make a decision. Both Trudeau and Singh have to make a decision. Am I going to destroy my party for my own gain, or am I going to abandon my party or at least do the right thing so that they can thrive and live on? And so there's a lot of resign Trudeau campaigns going on right now, both online and anywhere else that you look. There's a lot of people that want him gone. Well, really, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't help us, because we've seen this in the past where a really, really unpopular political leader resigns, and then all of a sudden that party is doing better in the polls. You have a new leader in there. They look like they're trying to do the right thing, and then they just hurt Canadians again with their ideological push forward again, just underneath of a different name. Obviously, the Trudeau brand is now failing. It's sinking to the bottom of the ocean. So if we got somebody else in there, but a man of another individual of another name that's doing the same thing. Unfortunately, Canadians tend to give people a second chance, or a party a second chance, when it's a different name. And this party is going to continue to push this ideological goal that they have right now. It doesn't matter who's in that seat.
Yeah. They're cleaning house by themselves. They got rid of Pam Damoff, who was, probably the biggest anti-gun proponent in Canada. She got off any public safety stuff. They got rid of Mendocino, replaced him with LeBlanc, who is they're supposed to be their fixer guy. But we're just what we're seeing is the firearms thing is not at the top of their list anymore. They basically, with no pun intended, but they shot themselves in the foot because they did so much, untruths, and I'm going to call it what it is. They lied their asses off in SECU. They're making stuff up. Our legal team was definitely in the background, posing some questions, and they when they don't have the answers, the Liberals tend to stretch the truth, and it hurt them, and that's why two key figures are gone right now. So I would have liked to see those two stay in there actually before an election, because you know what, they're easy to pick out of a crowd with their lies.
They like the sensationalism. They like to be on stage and saying weird and peculiar things. Now, we do have a new safety minister, I guess we should mention, but we'll stay a little off of him because he hasn't really said anything about anything yet when it comes to firearms. But yeah, we have a new safety minister. The last one is gone, and a lot of it has to do with disgrace after disgrace after disgrace, even things that don't even deal with firearms. He was messing up. So I guess we don't have to get into that too much.
No, we don't. Well, you know what? We'll let just sleeping dogs lie for now, and we'll deal with them when they bring it to the forefront. But right now they're laying back, and like I say, it's way down on the list as far as election platforms are. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, they're still dealing with that crisis of when Zelensky came, that thing.
Yeah,
been,
well, you know what? That's
the news network, all over the world.
Yeah, you know what? That's and I'm not even going to comment on that because that's not down our avenue. Just stuff like that. Just let them implode themselves. We're going to stick to firearms, and we're gonna definitely. We've been speaking to MPs all over the place. I personally have been meeting with MPs, speaking to them, finding out what's going on, giving them our thoughts. It's an election's looming. It's just a question of when they press the trigger is all we're waiting for. With that said, Chuck, what's going on in Quebec these days?
Well, in Quebec these days, not much going on. It's still good old Quebec. We're pushing right now. We have a version of this NFA Talk with Martin Bourget. We're doing that every week. So this has been going well. We're actually going to start the second part of the first season that we started early this year. Because right now, everyone is went back to the wood and is hunting. So these things are going well. Martin is actually right now hunting at Anticosti Island. So we're following closely what's happening in Ottawa. Of course, Quebec still wants to put its grain of salt in all this, but it's I'm gonna be honest, it's going well. Not too many things. It's going well because not too many things going on.
Yeah, we spoke on this at our last talk, but we had our AGM in Bassard, Quebec, just by Montreal, and we had great turnout, and great people. People welcomed us in Quebec too, and we met a lot of people and a lot of concerned firearms owners, and Chuck and Joe Estevez, our other Quebec director, are doing a great job over there. and we've been finding this across the country. Just right now, people are getting more serious, and now's the time to get the word out. And we've been getting the word out. And a lot of people just didn't know. Like I say, Newfoundland, and I'm thinking other parts of the country too, that there is a major gun lobby out there fighting for their rights. But we're getting the word out when we can. And you know what? If all our viewers and stuff, just pass the word that we're fighting for your rights, and we'll be more than happy to field any questions that anybody has. And the NFA is there for you. We're working for you. We're working for us, and we're working for you.
And we absolutely get a lot of messages, both online and emails, things like that. We really, really help a lot of people. And until I was answering emails, I had no idea how many that we got with individuals where their husbands have passed, and now they have a handgun and they don't know what to do with it, and they're terrified because they're pretty much being threatened by the government. It's an 80-year-old handgun, but the government is attacking them over it, and scaring little old ladies. I mean, that's what we're doing now, is we're scaring little old ladies, and we're letting gangbangers out on bail. So I think that's really, really important that we mention that there's a lot of people that we help that aren't even members, but the moment that we help them, we say, well, it was the members that came along and signed up before you that allowed us to do this for you. So maybe consider getting a membership in the future. Just pass it along, right? Help it.
Yeah. Maybe you can even, Nathaniel, touch on what's going on in Alberta. We've been trying to help out some people in by-elections and stuff get elected. Nathaniel is out there, and he's doing a great job. He's been speaking to some key people. Maybe you want to touch on that, Nathaniel?
Well, there was a kind of a quick Thorncliffe show recently in Calgary here with the Alberta Arms Cartridge Collectors Association. And it was kind of, as far as I know, the first time that our new justice minister out here with the UCP was out. And really, really great guy. He gave me quite a bit of time to actually talk to him and get his opinion on things. And he's a firearms owner as well. In fact, he was super excited to show me that he had a pal, that he knows what's going on, that he's very, very sympathetic, and he said all the right things. And standing there at this firearms show, he's taking an interest to talking to everyone. Seems to be teamed up really, really well with Terry Bryant there, our CFO out here. It seemed great. It seemed, now we did try to help Chandro in the last election, but unfortunately he lost his seat. But I think that Mickey Amory is going to be a really, really good replacement. I think that he's really willing to talk to us. He's really willing to listen. And I think he actually understands and knows because he's one of us. And I think that's really, really important that we have one of us in positions like safety and justice. It's really important to know that we're not the perpetrators of a lot of the things that go down, and we get blamed for it a lot. And if it's one of us that's in there, they're going to stand up for us as well. So That's what's going on in Alberta right now, and full steam ahead. They're still sticking with Albertans, and I wish that Canada would do the same thing, right? But you guys,
the narrative of the gun violence in Canada is gun owner. The problem is coming from gun owner. That narrative is starting to fade. Like I see that. People they don't buy it anymore. Like they're coming with ban over bans, and gun violence still goes up. So that narrative is fading. That I know. I've seen it on the field. I mean, people don't buy that crap anymore.
No, they're going to be hard pressed to use it for a wedge issue in this upcoming election, because it's like Chuck said right there, it's faded away. Even the tide is shifting all over the place too. I just want to mention BC, our guy Blair and Hardy out there. We've been hearing that the tide is shifting out there too. They're actually parachuting CPC candidates into British Columbia because people are fed up with the Libs and the NDP. So that's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the political world right now. We're on it. We're on it every day. That's what I do every day, and so does Chuck, and so does Nathaniel. We monitor things going on, and as soon as something comes up, firearms related or personal property related, we're right on it. So we can get the information out to people out there like yous, and there's a change coming. I can sense there's a change coming. Like Chuck says, firearms are fading away from the forefront. So you know what, we're patiently to see what's going to happen. Good or bad, we're ready. We're ready no matter what happens. We're dug in deep. I think we probably got the best legal team in Canada working with us. So you know, from there, it gives us a little bit of comfort to know that you know, Solomon is ready to work with us and move forward on anything we need to do. So anyway, and while I'm saying that, I want to give a big shout out to our members also. You know, we've been getting a lot of support from our members lately. Our people have been joining up, and you know, I keep telling them we're dug in for however long it takes, and we're not going to back down out of this. So you know, I say to everybody, keep up the good fight. We've got your backs on this, and you know, just keep moving forward. Don't let the Liberals get you down. Keep moving forward.
Well, and I think Chuck made a really, really good point there as well. The reason that the firearms issue is falling flat with the Liberals and even the NDP in a lot of ways is because they banned everything. Ban. Handgun freeze, and handgun crime goes up. OIC goes through and gang crime goes up. Everything's going up. The violence is going up. Everything is horrible. And it obviously wasn't us, so maybe we'll learn from our mistakes. No, we're used to being scapegoats. That's one of those things. And I think that it is well within the scope of firearms-friendly government. If they were to come into play to have a majority or a supermajority, it wouldn't be unfathomable for them to actually roll back a lot of this legislation that went through now that we've learned from the mistakes. AR-15s have been locked away for how many years now? And nothing has changed. Handguns now for a year, and we're still getting notifications of individuals that are well, you know, I've got this handgun and I'd like to transfer it, and it's been in the family for 100 years. Sorry, you can't. It's frozen. What? No, they were banning gang guns. They were banning Glocks. No. Sorry, that 1914 Webley that was banned. Sorry, you know. I apologize. There's nothing we can do. But we'll give you some options. We'll see if we can't transfer it to somebody that legitimately can own it, et cetera, et cetera. And people are realizing that. And I think that it's one of those things where that negative interaction with the government coming after grandma and threatening her to get this old Webley or Korean War Tokarev or something. Those are two real examples that I can pull out of my head that I know have happened. And that makes ripples. People hear that later on. They go, oh, you know, the RCMP went after so-and-so's grandma over Uncle Joe's gun there. You know, and that is resonating with people. People are starting to see they are vilifying that, because it should be vilified, because it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So yeah. One last thing about Alberta too, we had a kind of a cool thing happen here. FH Munitions opened up. They had their grand opening, and I'm just gonna pull that another Canadian company that we're proud to endorse. Yep. So apparently this is one of the first of these machines in North America, and those are some IPSC royalty there. I'm going to give a couple of shout outs here. That's Taylor Reich. He's IPSC champ. He's at the Albertan on Instagram, so give him a follow. And that's Melody Philiston. She's at 9mm Melly on Instagram. And Laura Seitz. Melody actually was first IPSC women's champ, and Laura is second place women's IPSC champ. And she's Laura Seitz 365 on Instagram, so give her a follow as well. It's pretty important that we follow those people. Those are our champions, and we should support them for sure.
Yeah, we do. And, you know, the NFA supports a bunch of Canadian athletes through all different aspects of shooting sports, and we're proud to do that. And we'll always support our athletes. And we need to get this handgun freeze taken care of so we can bring some younger athletes up and bring them up through the ranks instead of you know, everybody you know, getting out of it by attrition. And I think that's what the Liberals want. But you know what, we're going to do the best we can on our watch to make sure that doesn't happen.
And the European Handgun Championships are going on right now as we speak. So a shout out to Rob Eng. He's one of our guys. And Dawn Deely as well. She's an IPSC shooter over there that we've been talking to back and forth online. Yeah. He's been sending us some stuff. So good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Big names.
Yeah. You know, a little bit of a shout out to Chuck too. He's been doing really good in some competitions, some local competitions. He's been bringing home the gold a few times. You know, like I say, we're shooters too, and Chuck is an IDPA shooter, and he's been on his game for the last little while.
Yeah, it's been going well this year.
Yeah. So Anyway,
IDPA,
what else?
You know what IDPA means? I was told. Attack
What's that?
I don't practice anymore.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I don't either because I can't afford ammunition.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't practice anymore. Sure.
Yeah. So, what else we got going on? What's on the palette there, Nathan?
Well, that's pretty much the major stuff right there. We also have our T-shirt giveaway, which is happening here right now. It's our fall T-shirt campaign. We've got a pretty cool Kadex Sporter CDX R7 in 308. And there's the information as it is there. Between October 1st and November 30th, buy a T-shirt, you get a chance to win that sucker, and it's a heck of a gun. So it's in hybrid hunter orange and black. So if you drop it out there in the woods while you're hunting, it's easy to see it, and it makes you a lot more visible out there.
Yeah,
so throw that out there as well.
It's a nice little 308. I have it in my possession right now as we speak.
Did we mention that Kadex is Canadian?
Absolutely, and I was just going to do a shout out to them again. Thank Pat and everybody at Kadex. We've been collaborating with Kadex for a little while now, and we've been
they're awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome. They've been hooking us up with some guns, and if we're gonna the NFA, if we're gonna give product away, we're gonna give stuff away that's good stuff. We're not gonna give away stuff that's gonna break on you. And in my opinion, Kadex is probably one of the finest rifles out there, not just in Canada but in the world, and they're pretty much world renowned. So a big shout out to them. Maybe Chuck, you can give them a shout out in French too.
Oh, Kadex, je t'aime Kadex.
Yeah.
No, but like as we said, like we had a relationship with Kadex for a couple of years now, and like I had a chance to visit their facility, and guys, that place, it makes no sense. Like it's crazy, like the precision, the engineering that goes there, like the amount of effort that's made, like the quality control they have. There's no word. There's no word. These rifle, and we saw them. We tested them at Rob Furlong, and that's how you can stretch a 308 to a mile. It's with a precision rifle that's one of the best precision rifle there is on the market. So
yeah, with a 24-inch barrel and not a 1 ounce trigger either, like a 2.5 pound trigger. Yeah. So you know what? And that's the thing. Like I say, a big shout out to Canadian industry. And there's a lot of Canadian firearms industry that's getting touched by all these rules and regulations. And we're going to be promoting every one that we can that'll let us promote them. And we'll be going across Canada from one and the other, and we'll be bringing stuff to you guys on NFA Talk and promoting Canadian industry, because that's all it's all about. The Canadian firearms world is a lot bigger than the Liberals even know. Between the 2.2 to 2.4 million shooters, but the industry that goes around it, there's magazine manufacturers, firearms manufacturers, there's ammunition manufacturers, all in Canada. So we'll be giving a shout out to all those people. We'll do a couple every NFA Talk, and that's what it's all about. The NFA supports more than end users. The NFA supports industry groups, dealers, importers. We'll support anybody that has anything positive to do with firearms. And like I say, a big shout out to all those Canadian people.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I was reading a little bit of the comments here. Brendan was mentioning ATRS, Alberta Tactical Rifle, and
yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sometimes you forget about some of them, but you mentioned magazine manufacturer Cross Mag in Canada. I use that mag. It's a fantastic mag. Fantastic. Yep. And the idea behind it, having
there's one right there.
There you go.
Yep.
They're amazing. I've shot 1,000 rounds through them, and no failure. So
yeah. There is industries, Wolverine or not Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine manufacturers. And that's not Wolverine. Kodiak Defense. Sorry, Kodiak Defense. They used to be with Wolverine. They're not anymore. Kodiak Defense manufactures rifles close to me, and there's all kinds of custom builders, small gun shops building custom long-range rifles. I know Nathaniel's in touch with some of them that I put him on to, and we're going to reach out to all of them. And we're spread out right across Canada, so whatever director's close, we'll do a little segment and we'll promote them on this show, so people know who they are.
And the thing is, not only we've got like good manufacturer, but we got like top tier parts manufacturer. Like you mentioned that like you were close to Kodiak, but Trigger Tech, like we love Trigger Tech triggers, and like they're right like near Niagara Falls, or like
I'm not sure. They're close to me somewhere here. Yeah, we should probably go visit their facility too.
I mean, SF guys all over the place, they use their triggers. Like they're the best. They're probably the best triggers there is on the market. So
yeah, even Canadian distributors that are distributing some product that isn't from the country. Cote out west in Alberta is another one. Those guys are great. We established a really good rapport with those guys too, with Leopold scopes and all their optics, and Apex Optics. They're great. Carly from Apex Optics is a great person. You guys should check out their optics. They're fine stuff, and this stuff is imported, but it's Canadian businesses that are getting this stuff out to gun shops and stuff. So we like I say, we just don't support end users. We support all industry in Canada.
Yep, there you go. All right, cool.
Yep.
Well, and the thing about Trigger Tech too is I always feel bad because you go to a place like Tacom or even any of the shows that we have in Calgary, industry shows, and their booths aren't nearly as busy as ones that actually have rifles in them, and yet they're such an amazing product. They're really phenomenal. So yeah, absolutely. And I know that Kadex, their rifles there, they always go with Trigger Tech.
Kadex is always busy though. Like their booth, like every time.
Absolutely.
With them, I mean, like
Trigger Tech. No, Kadex. We even did a little bit of a interview with them with Rick here, which will be coming out as well. We got a lot of content from Tacom we'll be releasing shortly.
Yes.
And Patrice and the guys, they're the best. I mean, we tend to
big shout out to Pat.
We tend to spend the whole event next to them, and then we spend the whole evening next to them too at the end of the night. So that's a good one too. They're the best. So
I think we should also give a shout out to Rebel News. Rebel News came out to see us at Tacom. We invited them. They came out. They did a show with us. Rebel News has been supporting us for quite a while now. We've been working with them, and we've got a great relationship with Rebel News too. Getting the word out before, it's hard to get the word out now with C11 and C18, but that's they're doing their best, and Rebel News is definitely on the right page as far as firearms go. And like I say, we've got a really good relationship out with them too. So a shout out to Rebel also.
Absolutely. One last thing here too. I think that we should probably hit some of these comments head on here, and I was going to say that about will the silencer parliament, like I saw that coming in parliament this week, like a petition for silencer. What do we think about that? We think it's a great idea. Like I don't understand why silencer or suppressor, like whatever you want to call them, why they're not legal in Canada. Like there's multiple country in Europe that have them now, and it's for your safety and your ear safety. So there's no, people think like the only thing most people know about suppressors is what comes out from Hollywood, but like trust me, you cannot, like you will hear the sound of the shot. Like a suppressor just make like the shot a little bit more acceptable, like for your ears. So.
Yeah, I can touch on that more actually, because my last World Forum on Shooting Activities, England just legalize what they call them sound modulators over there.
There you go.
And they just they legalized them for the sake of hearing and operator safety. That was their reasoning, and they actually, and I was amazed, they actually went through the British Parliament and they actually legalized them. But suppressors in England are legal now. I don't think there's any kind of, I know in the U.S. there's a tax stamp and stuff you have to buy for them, but I don't think in England, I think you just go out and buy one now. And, it makes, well, prime example is me. I probably lost 25% of my hearing from shooting guns, even with, good ear protection, bad ear protection over the years. And, if the suppressors probably would have, alleviated some of that. So, it's definitely something to work for, but we need to get a friendly government in place. And work in that direction. But definitely sound suppressors, like Chuck said, they're not silencers. They don't silence anything. They bring the report of a rifle down a few decibels is all they do. But so in a lot of cases, that few decibels stops you from getting hearing damage. So, for a pure safety thing, they're pretty hard to beat. So,
and you see all of their sports, like you need like sound suppression, like motorcycle. If you don't have like your muffler or anything like that, you'll get fined. But like firearms, like it's the only place make as much noise as possible and like disturb the peace. And like that's why like you see some ranges like get close because like of course it's noisy and like it shouldn't be.
That's a great comment, Chuck, because of population density these days. They're actually closing ranges because people are complaining. Well, of course, they knew there was a range there when they bought a house, but it doesn't matter.
No, the range, the 1976 Olympic range in Montreal for the Olympics.
Yeah,
like that range was built there in Saint John, like for in L'Acadie for like since then. And like they build houses around it, and like at one point now it's closed because what? Why?
Yeah,
because, like too much noise.
Yeah, suppressors would definitely tone it down a bit.
Sure.
It
should be available like easily, like you buy a trigger or anything like that. Like no PAL, no nothing like that. Just like it's a safety device. That's what it is.
Yep.
And that's great. But a wise man also told me that as soon as this entered Parliament. A wise man told me, well, that's all well and good, but let's get our AR-15s back too. It's there's things to focus on other than.
Well, yeah, we definitely have an agenda and a focus on the direction we're moving in. Order in council and handgun free's number one priority. There's a lot of things that are wrong with the Firearms Act and stuff, but you know what? Right now, we're focused on getting our order and council guns out of the safes and back on the range, and getting free trade going amongst handguns because what they did is not right. And I think at the end of the day, this is nothing to do with public safety. None of this is anything to do with public safety. If they wanted to, instead of spending billions of dollars on this, they could actually focus on the real problem. Guns and gangs, smuggled guns, 3D printed guns, homemade guns. But they don't focus on that. They're actually dropping mandatory minimum sentences to make it easy on the criminals. They're not dropping any mandatory sentence on firearms owners whose PAL expires. But they're definitely helping the criminals out. So the Liberals' focus at the end of the day is to have something explosive and Hollywood type that would make people vote for them because they're doing this so-called saving Canadians from themselves. And that's what it's all about. The Liberals don't care about public safety. They care about votes and money. Yep. And I think people are starting to realize that.
Absolutely. And so on the political side of things here, we do have quite a few different comments coming in from different platforms here. And one thing that's coming up, and I just kind of want to acknowledge it head on, is as individuals talk about the PPC, and they're talking about Maxime Bernier. And of course, we'll discuss good legislation with anybody so long as they can form government. And right now they don't have a chance to form government.
Yeah, you know what? If Max wants to come on here, he's more than welcome to come on here and talk to us about guns. We're not going to tell you where to vote, but you know what? We're going to give you the facts, and we're gonna push out all the information we can. Who is going to be the best for firearms owners in Canada? I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to vote for PPC or not to vote for CPC or not to vote for Liberal. myself and our team here, we're gonna give you the information on where everybody stands and how everybody's gonna make stuff happen. I'll tell you right now, there's not a perfect politician out there. You know, they're politicians, but you know what? You have to decide in your own mind who you want to go with and who's going to do the best for you. You know, there's all kinds of reasons to vote. My reason to vote is I want to keep my firearms, and I want to go with a party that's going to help me keep my firearms. You know, there's a lot of other things that come into play, and I understand that. You know, we at the NFA don't hold those rows. We stick to firearms, and definitely while this election is looming, we're definitely going to be putting out information out about everybody and what their policies are and how they can help us. You know, we need somebody to form a government and you know, retract the Order in Council, pull back the handgun ban, pull back C-71, you know, C-21. Those bills need to go, and we'll tell you who's promised to get rid of them and who hasn't, and what their stories are, and the direction they're going in, and what's going to be the best for firearms owners in Canada.
And we have to legitimately be realists as well, right? We have to deal with someone that can form government. I will also say this is I've watched Maxime Bernier, I've watched the PPC party, I've watched what they've had to say, and that's all well and good, but it didn't seem like Max really seemed to care too much about firearms owners until it was at front and center. And I will say this is that at one point, and I seem to recall this, and I could be incorrect, but I do seem to remember a little bit of outrage because after all of the big talk, the one time that he actually could vote on firearms legislation, and he didn't show up. So that does speak volumes right there. You know, just look that up. I believe that's a matter of public record. And if he wants to change that, the Conservatives have actually changed their tune considerably over the last few years. We're not seeing individuals that are center anymore. You're now seeing individuals that are siding with us and saying the things that they should have been saying all along. So that's important. Another comment that we have here, we're not ignoring anyone based on their names or anything like that. We just haven't had a chance to get to you yet. Individuals talking about being proactive, especially about the idea of defense. Well, that's one of our motivations with the National Firearms Association. That's a little bit different with other organizations, is we do believe that you should have the right to self-defense with a firearm. And Rick, I'll pass it to you on that one, because I know that's a good one for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The NFA, that's part of our mandate. You should be able to defend yourself when your life is threatened, whether it be with a firearm or anything else. The fact of the matter is, the way the courts are and the police are these days, even though it is in the charter to defend yourself, there's so much criteria there that they go by. Chances are you're going to get arrested if you do, but at the end of the day, you'll get off, but it's going to be expensive to, to get off. But you know, that's something that needs to be changed also. Like I say, you're going to defend your family no matter what. And it's better to, you know, make sure you're alive at the end of the day. That's basically what I want to touch on that now.
Just against wildlife. Like, it's weird. There's something in Canada for that, but like CFOs won't produce you a permit for protection. So
you know, and that's the thing too.
That was the word disposition.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing too. We're actually working with a young lady out in British Columbia right now, working on her ATT3 wilderness carry permit. Her name's Rachel Attila. She's actually done some work with us, and I think she's going to be doing some work with us in the future. But you know, it's a struggle. Rachel is actually a guide in the mountains of BC, and you know, she's confronted with grizzly bears on occasion, and she needs to protect the people around her. And of course, the thought out there is, well, you know, you got your rifle on your horse. Well, what if a bear spooks your horse and the horse takes off with your rifle? You know, what do you do then? Can you protect your people? Can you protect yourself? Well, no, you're not going to throw stones at a grizzly bear or spray them, because all that's going to do is put a little hot sauce on yourself before you get bit. So, you know, she's working. She's in the process of obtaining her authorization to transport 3 right now in wilderness carry. Like I say, we're doing whatever we can to help her out. So, that's a direction as far as carrying handguns and, that we're focused on, one thing at a time. But like I say, there's no law in Canada that says you can't defend yourself. You can't defend your life or your family. So, that's always a good thing to keep in mind. I'm not telling you to go out there and, shoot intruders or anything else, but, that's a decision you have to make at the time. Like I say, it is in our charter to protect your life and your family's lives. So, just keep that in mind, and just keep in mind that the NFA is working on that. That's down the road a little bit. Like right now, let's get our ARs out of the safes, and let's get the handguns going amongst ourselves again.
So, and one last thing here, and yes, we're getting to you. I apologize, but we're just taking our time here. I'm not going to say your name, but we are getting to your questions here. So you were talking about proactive concerning advocacy and protests. Well, that's a bit of a problem right now with this government. That's an absolutely big problem with this government right now. And not only that, but we have organized things like that in the past. Over the course of 40 years, the NFA has organized quite a few of those. They don't work. We need to change public opinion with education. This government, we do anything. We have to be extremely careful. This government, they're so quick to label and so quick to come after us, even though we are the ones that are actually the level-headed individuals in this entire scenario. And I think that that's probably one of the main problems is we're the level-headed ones. We're the ones that are actually talking when it comes to common sense and statistics, and that we're not the individuals to be feared. And yet they are pushing campaigns of fear against us. And their campaigns of fear really bit them the last couple of days, and I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. But that being said, orchestrating protests like that, even monthly protests like you're suggesting, is not a good idea. It will make it look like
the problem with the protests and in-your-face protests like this is you have to remember that the mainstream media in Canada is controlled by the government. So they could take a quiet protest where a bunch of law-abiding Canadians show up, leave the place without leaving a gum wrapper on the street, but they'll twist it, they'll spin it, they'll make it look bad, and then they'll take advantage of it. And that's the problem with protest. Like Nathaniel says, we organized protests in the past, lots of them. Excuse me, but these days you just can't do it. It backfires every time.
And we have Luke Grind just jumped in here. Luke, congratulations. That's our king of 2 miles right there. So he's in. Nice. He says, keep up the good work, fellas. Yeah, it was great meeting you the other day. And very, very cool. Very, very cool. And thanks for stopping in. And I hope you saw the shout out earlier. But congratulations again. That's pretty prestigious. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just, folks, there's a lot of questions here, and we'll try to answer as many of them as we can. We're already running past an hour here, but is there anything else we want to touch on there, Nathan?
You know what? I think that we actually got all of the major questions, and not only that, but I think we'll be doing a lot more of these in the future. So, write them down, get back to us. We always post on social media if you want. Like, share, comment on everything. Hit our Instagram, hit our Facebook, hit our Twitter. Instagram and Facebook is where we're most active. Twitter's a little bit of a cesspool when it comes down to it. But
or shoot us an email.
Or shoot us an email. Absolutely.
You can be reached, Nathaniel, all our first name with the @nfa.ca, you'll reach us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I forward when I get emails on social media about a certain problem, I will forward it directly to the director that I think has the most information in that subject. Most of the time it's Blair. Blair is
Blair's our communication guy, and Blair is a walking encyclopedia of firearms knowledge. Yeah. Hands down, the guy knows case law from 20 years ago. I get dozens of calls every day, and a lot of them I punt over to Blair, because Blair has the answers that I couldn't. I can answer stuff on the Firearms Act and definitions and stuff, but when it comes to case law or inheritance stuff, Blair's the guy to contact. So any questions like that, definitely Blair at NFA.ca, and he'll be more than happy to help you out.
Beautiful. Well, I think that's about it. I think that we've covered everything. So thanks for stopping by here, gents, and let's try and do another one here fairly soon. And good night, and keep on keeping on.
Yep. Right, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening to this episode of NFA Talk. Like and follow the NFA on social media and sign up to become a member.